Yoda travelled aboard one of the First Republic gunships as he and the clone troopers arrived to rescue the Jedi from the Petranaki arena on Geonosis. As the clone troopers began to take out the native Geonosians and Count Dooku's droid army, the Jedi of Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi pursued Dooku. Soon they were thwarted by the Nantex starfighters, forcing them to duel him in the Sith's hangar. The two Jedi proved to be no match for a master duelist as Dooku, as Anakin was erratic from watching his secret wife Senator Amidala fall out of the gunship, and Obi-Wan's form of lightsaber combat was a direct weakness to Dooku's elegant form too. But as he was about to leave, Dooku's old master Jedi Grandmaster Yoda walked in. The two powerful Force users duel initially in a battle of the Force, before using their lightsabers, but Dooku soon realises that victory could not happen against Yoda, and escaped into his ship. Although Dooku had lost the duel, he had performed his master Darth Sidious' bidding, and started the Clone War. But what if Yoda had needed the toilet during their duel? How would this affect Dooku? As you'll see, Yoda's bowel problems could have changed the start of the war. Yoda stood in the military command base directing the battle in a bid to destroy the Trade Federation's escaping ships. Suddenly, Yoda felt an odd jolt in his stomach, and the clone commander beside him looked at him in concern, but the grandmaster was too distracted by his present bowel pain. Yoda cursed the water on Geonosis for infecting his system, as he also sensed Dooku beginning to slip away and summoned a gunship, whilst Mace Windu took charge of the operations. Yoda pursued Anakin and Obi-Wan's path to Dooku's hangar, glancing at Senator Amidala being retrieved by the clone troopers on the sand beneath them, and the clones dropped him onto the platform. Yoda needed his cane to balance his aching stomach as he staggered into the hangar. The Jedi Grandmaster looked as Anakin and Obi-Wan had been cast off to one side by Dooku, and he hurried along before his old Padawan could make an escape. This was a big mistake as the pain moved to his lower duodenum, and he was desperate to relieve himself of the building pressure. Dooku also noticed something odd and launched a force-lightning attack, but Yoda managed to hold it off with his other hand, and the pain began to subside. Unfortunately, Dooku stopped the attack and ignited his blade, and Yoda knew that his acrobatic form for Ataru would not serve his pain well. The Jedi leapt as if he felt nothing, and dancing off of the walls, he began to get the upper hand, until the need to relieve the pain became too great. Yoda flipped to Dooku's ship to block his escape, and casually sat down and deposited his fecal mat onto the hull of the ship, then sighed in satisfaction as he resumed battle. The stench of Yoda's stools had quickly spread through the humid hangar, and Anakin and Obi-Wan lost consciousness. Dooku realised that he had to get away, and tried to bully the clones from their gunship, but it was no use, as he soon dropped to the floor. The clones drag him back as Yoda lifts Anakin and Obi-Wan into another gunship, still enduring mild discomfort. The Jedi later awoke in the halls of healing, and Anakin was immediately concerned about the location of Padme, but she had been saved from her fall. Yoda, meanwhile, stood outside of a still-dazed Dooku, and ordered him to tell him all of the secrets of the Sith. Dooku initially shook his head in pain, but the threat of being on the receiving end of Yoda's feces prompted him to reveal everything, from the creation of the clone army to the real identity of Palpatine. Yoda was keen to capitalise on his still present stomach pain, and gathered a group of Jedi Council members to go to Palpatine's office, all equipping hazmat suits, apart from Plo Koon, who wore his usual anti-ox breathing mask. The Chancellor had been at his desk working on the structure of a new bill when he heard the heavy clattering of several Jedi enter his office and surround him. Windu ignited his blade and ordered the Chancellor to resign, as they had evidence he had been causing corruption and that he was a Sith Lord. Palpatine stood up and summoned his red blade from the sleeve of his robes, as Yoda squatted beside Palpatine's desk. The Sith Lord lunged at the Grandmaster before stopping in his tracks as he began to feel nauseous and attempted to leap out of the window. But his aim had been off target and he had punched a hole in one of the walls, and he was easy prey for Anakin. The Jedi cuff Palpatine and bring him in front of a military tribunal to face allegations, quickly sentencing him to his death. In the Jedi Council chamber, Yoda had managed to fix his stomach problems with the aid of the temple healers, but he realised that his feces could be a dangerous weapon if they fell into the wrong hands. The Grandmaster deploys the newest council member Obi-Wan to store a sample in the Jedi archives, serving as a warning that the Jedi would remain as the peacekeepers of the galaxy. That is it for What If Yoda Needed a Toilet. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on your notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.